My name is Drew Ish, and I'm the author of the Captain Love series. Well, I'll tell you all about the second book, Rise of the Pirate King. Yeah, that's a thing. And in this book, you're gonna get everything that you would expect from Captain Love. Yeah, you bet. And I'm blessed enough to be able to use the same creative team. You know what I mean? If you feel like the universe is caving in, you need love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. All right now. Now, Captain Love is a space trucker and a former war hero. There is even a legend that he may be immortal. He is accompanied by Spade, who's a living AI. Yes, I said immortal. As in, he cannot die. And if it feels like the universe is caving in, you need love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Yeah, love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. All right now. In this book, you'll get space pirates, sexy girls and science monks. There'll be bar fights, space battles, and a lot of awesome junk. There's nudity and violence and swearing within, so this book is mature. That means it's not made for children. And if it feels like the universe is caving in, there'll be love to the rescue. Yeah, and it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Thank you so much for your time. Please back Captain Love. The book is going to be awesome. Rise of the Pirate King is just the second in an adventure heading forward for many books. Thank you for your time.
Encore, motherfuckers!
Hi, my name is Drew Ish, and I'm the author of the Captain Love.
Listen to it twice.
Well, I'll tell you all.
Well, the cold intro is about 5 minutes long, so.
Rise of the Pirate King.
Yeah,
that's a thing. And in this book, you're gonna get everything that you would expect from Captain Love. Yeah, you bet. And I'm blessed enough to be able to use the same creative team. You know what I mean? If you feel like the universe is caving in, you need love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. All right now. Now, Captain Love is a space trucker and a former war hero. There is even a legend that he may be immortal. He is accompanied by Spade, who's a living AI. Yes, I said immortal. As in, he cannot die. And if it feels like the universe is caving in, you need love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Yeah, love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. All right now. In this book, you'll get space pirates, sexy girls and science monks. There'll be bar fights, space battles, and a lot of awesome junk. There's nudity and violence and swearing within, so this book is mature. That means it's not made for children. And if it feels like the universe is caving in, there'll be love to the rescue. Yeah, and it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. you so much for your time. Please back Captain Love. The book is going to.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing this week, buddy?
Pretty good. It's been a fun week.
It doesn't matter how you're doing. We're joined tonight by a very special guest in the virtual studio. A return of Mr. Drew-ish, not to be confused with Mr. Jew-ish. Sorry, that joke will never not be funny to me. I'm sorry. Anyway, don't mind if you hear some fireworks in the background. I am once again broadcasting outside, enjoying a lovely cigar. And how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, which one you smoking this time?
God, you would ask me that. I have no lights on whatsoever. I just pulled one out of the packaging. But anyway, how are you? How are you doing today, Mr. Drew? Mr. E, the mysterious
I'm doing pretty
Mr.
good.
E.
Yeah, man, I'm doing all right. The book's out. I have finished the big round of fulfillment. So now when someone orders, it ships immediately. I'm working on getting chapter 2 ready to launch. So yeah.
Well, you are
busy.
You are, as they say in the comic book world, killing it, sir. I have had the opportunity to read
Thank
not
you.
only book 1 of Captain Love, but also chapter 1 of volume 2, and I can connect with the story. It's every little boy's dream to be a space trucker who's also a military hero and the eye candy of every pretty lady in the book. So, I mean, you've
Go ahead. I would say he does have a way with the women.
They have a way with him. He doesn't really have to do anything for it. He just shows up, and they kind of like that movie Michael. You remember that movie with John Travolta, and all the women just smelled him, and he smelled like cookies and cakes and sweets and shit, and they all just like had to get at him. That was right. Captain Love. Captain Love is Michael. He is a space angel trucker pirate military hero, and I love every bit of it.
I like that you use the Michael reference, because that's actually something that I use to explain that concept, where the women are like just strangely drawn to Captain Love, and I kind of equate it to the spell that he's under. You know what I mean? The curse that he's on is part of his curse is because he can't experience love to anybody. So like he doesn't have it he cannot love any of these women that come at him. So they just come at him. You know what I mean?
Danielle Griffith in the chat asked, "Are those the only dreams boys have?" No, we also dream about being firefighters and rock stars. But again, it's all for the women. That's just the only reason we have dreams. It's for the women. Don't fool yourself.
Don't forget about dreams of being stuntmen. Little boys dream about being stuntmen.
No, we dream about being movie stars. True. We settle for being stuntmen when we get older.
I hate it. I never really wanted to be a movie star, but I did want to be a stuntman. I wanted to be the one that jumped off the building and landed in the cushion. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the one that wrecked the car. You know what I mean? That was in the car when it wrecked.
Yeah, I wanted to be a stunt driver specifically. Do all like that, the Fast and the Furious stuff, and like the James Bond
I wanted to do as little as humanly possible and get all the adoration. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
We want to actually live the dream, and you just want to pretend the dream. That's the difference.
I mean, yeah, that seems like the easiest route. I've always been about efficiency, Drew.
I would actually choose to be James Bond and actually get shot at if I can actually, do all the really cool traveling and also hang with all the beautiful women that are easily seduced and will do whatever I want because I can fuck them crazy. Over being Sean Connery, who has been in all these roles playing James Bond. So I would rather be the real deal than the one that gets the accolades.
No, I just want the accolades. That's fine. You can have all the realness you want. You can get shot at and go skiing down the mountain. I just want my toupee petted by beautiful women. That's where I'm at with it. But anyway,
and all that to say, Church, I'm the one that basically gets paid to smoke cigars.
Yeah, you did kind of win. I mean, Drew gets paid to make comics. I don't get paid, but I'm allowed to do this twice a week. But I do occasionally
get the accolade.
I do get the accolades.
Sometimes we get paid.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Anyway, with that, I can feel my wife staring daggers into my back. It's fantastic. I just want to point that out. I love Mrs. Church. I would not trade her for all the James Bond accolades in the world. I'm not just saying that because she could potentially hit me in the back of the head with something and I would never see it coming. But anyway, with that out of the way, no, I had the opportunity to catch up on the Captain Love story, and I actually had some questions, but I wanted to
ask him. I'm here. I love questions.
Oh no, I wanted to go through the story just a little bit before in a more of a spoiler-esque fashion than usual. Not full spoilers, or I didn't have time to scan anything in, obviously, so I can pull up the Indiegogo and just kind of go off of that. But I will get to those questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Before we get into it, though,
Drugs
what did you think of Chapter 1 of Volume 2, sir?
This was wonderful. My only complaint, and I know we've said this before, Drew, is there was not enough of this.
Well, there's Chapter 2, man.
Also, before we get...
I loved it. The first thing...
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, the first thing, and again, I blame the fact that I noticed this on doing this show so long. The first thing I noticed when I opened the cover is how just crisp and clean and legible your lettering and text boxes and word bubbles are.
Thank you.
You did a fantastic job with that.
There's not a single crowded page in the entire book. And that's not to say that the story doesn't come through. That's to say that the pages are paced well. The artwork does the heavy lifting of telling the story. And the words just kind of fill in the, reading between the lines portion, if you will. And that's something that I think comes with, a real passion for what you're doing. It is something that you don't get in any current Marvel or DC comics, really. It's something that Stan and Jack were excellent at, but something that modern writers just can't pull off, it seems. Like, they have to have these crowded panels with 15 word bubbles in it and everything. The pay. First off, I got to stop Ayrton in his tracks. The first thing that I noticed was
like usual,
the stock and paper quality of this book.
That was the second thing I noticed. I was going to get there.
But just touching the front cover and opening it up, my wife has made fun of me for this. But anytime I read a book that I get from an indie creator, I will put on nitrile gloves and open it up in those gloves, precariously maneuvering the tape to stick to the bag itself so that, the cover doesn't get caught on that stray piece of tape when you're pulling it out of the bag. I am like the worst when it comes to reading a comic book. I can't just read it like a normal human being. I put my gloves on and I get it set up in the bag and I pull it out and I just admire it for a minute. And I just look at the cover, I flip it over, look at the back, I look at the production quality of it, and then I open the front cover. And upon doing that, I just felt the quality of the print job of this book. So kudos on that. A round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like Ayrton said, your lettering and your page layout and your pacing was perfect. Again, his first complaint is the only complaint I had with this as well, is that just when I was getting into it good, and because I read these books backwards like an idiot, I didn't even read the cover. I just kind of took it in, and I read the second book first and the first book second, but we're still talking about.
It's okay. It's okay because just so you know, that's okay because the books are designed to where they're digestible individually. You know what I mean? So if you're watching I always love to use Star Trek Next Generation as a reference because they did what is in my opinion the perfect episodic variations where they would have like every episode was like its own self-sustaining thing. You know what I mean? So and then they had another story arc that followed along. So if you were like watching just the episode for the episode, you got your satisfaction. If you're just doing a one-off, you could get your satisfaction. And then if you watch the whole series, you would get the arc. You know what I mean? The bigger arc. So.
Right. And occasionally you would get those 1 or 2 episode series with the Borg or some shit like that. But like you said, it all.
Yeah.
The Metal says, as someone who makes comics, the last thing I do to a comic, try to read it. The last thing I do to a comic, I try to read is admire it. I'm not sure what he means by that. I have to. I don't make comics. I am a fan of comics, and I withhold the liberty to be able to marvel at something before I even crack the cover of it. As someone who makes comics, I can see where you wouldn't want to put a comic book you're trying to read on a pedestal before you read it. But having gotten some really shit comics in my lifetime from Marvel and DC and even indie creators over time, having ink run off on my hands.
Have you guys seen that fucking Wonder Woman fucking Rooster Teeth fucking cover? Is that a fucking troll? Is this a fucking joke they have going on? Wait. Oh my god!
Wait, I might have missed that. Hold on.
Okay, so yeah, Rooster Teeth supposedly is doing a Wonder Woman 1984 cover that is just embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Sorry about that.
Let's see here.
Your mention of the Wonder Woman.
You gonna live, man?
Your mention of the Wonder Woman cover made me inhale my cigar like a goddamn noob.
And I sent him some pretty strong cigars, so.
Yeah, we're not talking a Black and Mild here. But no, I
won't smoke anything tobacco anymore because I was addicted to tobacco for a long time and I couldn't quit cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then when I finally was able to stop smoking, like I just told myself I won't. I mean, when someone hands me a blunt, I'm like, no, I'll pass because I just know there's tobacco paper. You know what I mean? That it's rolled in. So I'm no,
right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because there's tobacco leaves. Cigars are rolled in tobacco leaves. So it's tobacco. Yeah.
No, what it was is that bringing that cover up, it kind of made me laugh, and I did a sharp inhale, and I've told Ayrton this off air, but when it comes to me smoking a cigar, think about J. Jonah Jameson. I'm chewing the motherfucker in the corner of my mouth while I do other things with my hands. So when he brought that cover up, I was going to say and chuckle that we've actually got that on the agenda to talk about Monday. But if we have time, we'll talk about it at the end of this show. But I did want to dedicate most.
That is awful.
Yeah, I did. I did want to dedicate most of this show to Captain Love. But yes, I have seen and I am aware of that Wonder Woman cover, and also. Rune Knight in the chat or in the Discord suggested we talk about the New Warriors as well, because apparently that's falling apart into a clusterfuck over at Marvel.
I thought that was already like a done deal. Like they already axed it, and like not going to be doing the series until they have a whole new lineup.
Well, yeah, that's what we were going to bring up because it's disastrous.
Well, I thought that was old news now. Yeah.
Well, it was the first time I had heard of it. I've had some real life stuff going on. I think I mentioned it last week, but my buddy's roof just basically fell the fuck off of his house. So we've been dealing with that.
Yeah, you know what? Direct him to the Florida Man comic. The character invented roof suspenders. So.
That seems like it'd be great for hurricanes, and we're dealing with one of those in the South right now. So. But
yeah, that book looks fucking hilarious. I can't, you know who Mike Barron is, right?
Oh, so we've had him on the show.
We have
the writer or the artist on the show.
Did you have Todd Mulroney?
We had Todd Mulroney, yeah,
the artist.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to Captain Love.
all three of them are on. Yeah. All three of them were on my show, my Tuesday show a couple weeks ago. So, and then last Tuesday we had Chris on again to talk that Whisper Network stuff. So we had like a Whisper Network episode combined with some people that are, indie creators talking about their books. So it was nice little show. So yeah, you guys had questions about Love? I'm sorry. I just want to fucking hang out and talk shit. So
no, absolutely. We'll just blow through our questions real quick. First off, to catch Drew's Tuesday show, look in the description down below. You'll find his YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheDrewLove. And you can also find links to Indiegogo's Captain Love, Rise of the Pirate King Chapter 1, and Rise of the Pirate King Chapter 2's mailing list, as well as Drew's Twitter and the Captain Love Twitter. Yes, I have it all in there. I'm prepared today. I am a fantastic host. Give me all the accolades. Anyway, no, I did have a couple of questions. First off, in the first book, we are introduced to the concept of basically a perfect AI that integrates itself with Captain Love's unexplained cybernetic enhancements. Like, we know that he has cybernetic enhancements because during the cleansing, which was a giant intergalactic space war that I want more of a backstory on, he was
there will be eventually
all but killed. And we see that his eyes and ears and basically everything was just fucked off, but he lived. We also learned that he lived probably because he's been cursed. So, just a little backstory there, little spoiler-esque. And he's cursed to live long enough to return to the one he loves, but the one he loves is dead, so it's kind of a catch-22 of a voodoo curse. Very Pirates of the Caribbean-esque, and that was my first question. Was that the inspiration of that, the Pirates of the Caribbean, Callisto, and God, what was the?
No, actually,
okay.
You're talking about the Calypso and Barbossa thing,
yeah,
and then of course it was turned over to Elizabeth and. But no, actually, that wasn't that. I don't believe that actually inspired that at all. And maybe I've seen that, so it's obviously in my memory base as far as a thing. But actually, that came from it came backwards. Like I was all like, okay, like like the character Odessa, who is the voodoo princess Captain Love falls in love with in the Hero of the Cleansing. They discuss that, and she is a character who I needed. Okay, I needed to make. So like, Love's not a superhero, right? But I had to like build up stuff around him because he's so famous from being the hero of the cleansing, right? They needed more stuff to have rumors about, right? And so I was like, okay, what kind of stuff would make a good rumor? And then I was like thinking, okay, something like, how would a rumor even start? And I was all like really dramatic about his life, and then then I realized the book had no romance, and I was all like, so I need to add something romantic. So I was thinking, okay, how can how can all this fit together? It just so like, I would say, and this is not even like in it, but I would say like a lot of the like comes from a lot of that part comes from movies like James Bond, Live and Let Die. You know what I mean? Where
Okay.
like love is like bigger than life, and like voodoo kind of is like one of those things that can see the future and control the future, and control, what I mean? It's like one of those religions that has those kind of elements to it. You know what I mean? So it just kind of like folded together. Does that make sense? I mean, it's just although it's like I wish Calypso and Barbossa was in my mind, because I might have even like expanded on it and made it more beautiful, because that so it's like. Okay. But I do have intentions to expand on it. So who knows? I might take some kind of Calypso-ian Barbossa, you know what I mean, thing in the future to that. I don't know. But,
Ghost of Lime Dad in the chat says, I received Captain Love this week, enjoyed it. Hail, Ghost of Lime Dad. Sounds
awesome.
good, so, yeah, that was my first question.
I'm so glad people are digging it.
Good.
Yeah.
Just talk over me.
Sorry, my answer was so long. I'm still, I'm just treat you like you don't matter. Okay, no.
Yeah, see, I'll talk over you and shut you the fuck down if you don't. So, okay. Sorry.
Okay. So seriously though, I really am. I'm really glad people are digging the books. You know what I mean? It's I would write them anyway if people didn't like them. That's the truth of the matter right there. But but the people are digging it. People are connecting to Captain Love. They're connecting to the concept. You know what I mean? It just tells me that it's it's not just in my head, in my heart. It's I can share this with everybody. And I don't know, the coolest thing about it, and this is going to sound weird, but it's like the word creators doesn't really like, it's not a small thing when you talk about writing an actual universe. You know what I mean? You really are the creator. I'm not, it's not like some kind of God trip or something stupid like that, but it's just,
I mean,
it's
maybe
like,
a little bit.
No, not really. I mean, no, but I can see where it could be for some people. You know what I mean?
That's again, that's more like me and wanting the accolade. See, the God trip comes from when you get all the credit for having to do none of the work. But when you have to do all the work, I don't see you getting much of a God trip on it. It seems more like it's you're constantly worried about the sanctity of your creation and your baby, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I had a son who was a rock star, you know what I mean, or a superstar actor or something like that, I'd be so damn proud of him. You know what I mean? So it's like, being that Captain Love is being well received, people are getting what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? They appreciate the amount of work that goes into the quality of the presentation. You know what I mean? That's like, it's like they're patting my kid on the head for doing a good job. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling.
And it should be. I don't know how many people in the audience can relate to this, but the idea of a space trucker. I grew up, and that was my father's main profession, was an over-the-road driver. So growing up and having an imagination, falling into the artist community and all of that, I had made up fantastical like ideas of what his job actually entailed that were way more exciting than what he actually did. But you know, the idea of a space trucker connects with me. I don't think that he was snarfing several beautiful women, but Ghost of Lion's Dad. I dug the Euro sci-fi feel as a big fan of 2000 AD, etc. Were you inspired by the 2000 AD run of books at all?
Actually, no. My illustrator might have had some influence in that realm. I'm actually more inspired as far as books go. The heavy metal series. There was a lot of stuff that heavy metal did that was just so awesome. You know, the Frazetta art all over the place. You know what I mean? That is pretty much like the look I wanted. I wanted to have. Okay, so. I wanted to have the quality of a 90s Marvel book as far as like the feel of artwork, right? Like before, like the early 90s Marvel books, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, but I wanted to have the style and feel of, you know, like, fucking late 70s, you know, mid 70s fucking heavy metal. You know what I mean? So, you know, so it's kind of like because I have to draw those parallels because a lot of the old heavy metal comics had great covers and the interior art was fucking rudimentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, or it was just like, you know, sloppy or not well presented. You know, a lot of it. Like there are some, but I mean, you can't say a consistent across the board with Heavy Metal Magazine that it was like that. That's why I draw to the early 90s Marvel, because in the early 90s Marvel was, if for anything, their artwork was fucking solid. The characters were the same characters as far as how they looked. You know what I mean? It was, you know, good proportions. The people looked like people. You know what I mean? It was, you know, it was not anything like it is now.
Right.
People could draw feet.
Although DC is still doing okay.
Well, actually, I saw a conversation on Twitter earlier today talking about an Avengers cover, like a Venomized or Venom something #2, where Thor's hand just does not look good. And I commented in there, I was just like, DC's not doing too much better, but for fuck's sake, this is a cover. Like, if you can't at least get your cover to look good, you're fucking up. So, I don't know. Like I said, you didn't really have a problem with that. Ghost of Lime's dad in the chat says that heavy metal also fits that feel. That's what I was going to say as well. Heavy Metal, 2000 AD, Dread, all of those books have a very similar, like, not grimy, but just more, I don't know, ethereal feel than a 2000s, 2010 Marvel or DC like, book. Go ahead.
I would call it as like grounded sci-fi.
That's a good way to put it. I would say I tried to like, okay, so like the things I would tell my artist is I would always tell him to, like, you know, like that I want it to be familiar, but not like what you've seen before. You know what I mean? So like if you look at the cover, right, what you have up right there, the chapter 1, okay, you see that vehicle behind those girls, right?
Yeah.
It's basically, you know, designed after a fucking 1970s style van. You know what I mean? It's like totally a fucking it's totally a fucking 70s van, but then it's also a space shuttle. You know what I mean? So it's So it's that kind of that. Yeah.
Now, my second question actually has to do with the space van, but not in the way you might think.
Yeah.
Barney, the engineer repairman that Captain Love has a relationship with. We don't know how they know one another.
I just
go ahead.
Yet, that's correct.
Go ahead, Ayrton.
Yes.
I just want to say, probably one of my favorite parts of the book was the little sarcastic exchange between the AI and Barney. He was trying to ever run the diagnostics.
No, what did you say 2 times ago? Compliance. That's not what I meant.
No, 2 times before that, compliance. That's what I feel like trying to get like my phone or my computer or something to do anything. Is like, no, do this. No, not that. This. Like, that was so relatable in such a weird way. I loved it.
Now this is a
the relationship between Barney and Spade is because like nobody knows Spade exists. You know what I mean? Because if they did, they knew that there was a living AI, right? People would be upset. You know what I mean? There would be think about how people get fucking in current politics. You know what I mean? How they get all crazy. Can you imagine how it would be if it was in the future where you're fucking distant from people, even more distant? You know what I mean? And you were thought, oh my God, there's a living AI out there. It's like, you know what I mean? After how many Terminator style movies they've seen and stuff like that. I mean, you know, that they're fucking scared of that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So it's really not supposed to be known that Spade exists. So anybody who ever finds out is a holder of really, really secret information. So even though Barney is really well trusted, he does not know that Spade exists. So she's just the ship's onboard computer, as far as he's aware. You know what I mean? She's just software.
Now, the original onboard computer called him Captain Louvre.
Yeah.
And that made me so happy. And because I read them out of order, I'm like, why is Spade fucking with him like this? And then as I got further in, I realized what was going on. Danielle in the chat says, Ayrton will actually verbally get mad with them too, like they're animated object talking about devices that don't do what he wants them to do. I can totally believe that.
Shut up.
Now, you answered my first question because this was a 2-pronged question. My first question was, how do you pronounce this AI's name? And obviously that is Spade. So the second question, and you'll get this a
which
lot.
Which stands for everybody who's wondering, it's Synchronous Protocol Artificial Intelligence Delegate.
Yes, and thank you for remembering that because I'm not bringing my book outside and messing it up. I'm sorry.
You're gonna thank me for remembering it, dude. I wrote it.
if somebody asked me to remember everything I drew or wrote, I'd have to get them to buy me a bottle of whiskey and give me about a week. So calm down.
Well, it's important. It actually means something. So what she has the ability to exist in multiple computers at once. You know what I mean? And then so she's in Love's head, she's in Love's hauler. She any computer network that she decides to take over at any given time, she leaves a piece of herself there that is conscious and aware, right? And so when she reconnects, that piece of software and her sync up. You know what I mean? And then they share what they need to share as if they were, and when they're in sync, they are one single entity. And when they're not in sync, they are separate entities. It's kind of like your heart muscles. The cells in your heart. You know what I mean? When your heart cells are separate, they'll beat at different paces, but as they get closer together, they'll beat in synchronous. And then when they touch, they're synchronous. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So she's Synchronous Protocol, Artificial Intelligence Delegate. So she was designed to be, a representative. You know what I mean? That's what she was. She was designed to be, helper software, and you know what I mean. So that's why she has the ability to do all the shit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I really like
it. She's probably my favorite character so far.
Well, let me get to my original question. Barney, the character Barney, the engineer and the mechanic that Captain Love is, so rigorously tied to, that he goes out of his way and circumvents more qualified and, closer mechanics and engineers. Did he have any foothold in Scooter from Borderlands?
No.
Okay.
But but he does have a foothold. There's a lot of Cooter from Dukes of Hazzard in him.
That's what I was gonna say.
All right. Well, I mean, so yes, then, because that's where Scooter was also created from. He's he's a lot dumber and more inbred because
I assume.
Go ahead.
I assume love goes to him because he's cheap, right? Is that
no, they have a history. They have a history. We just don't know it yet. I am sure that these two
they have a history. They have it.
I'm sure these two have a very storied and very well versed history that it's hilarious that we are going to get revealed at a certain point in the story, and I can't wait.
I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you this much. They met at a poker game, and you're not going to hear about it in Rise of the Pirate King.
So if you're invested,
that's where they met. It was.
If you're invested in Barney, you're on for at least another volume, guys.
Yeah. So Barney is probably the person that love trusts more than anybody else that's alive. Okay. And Barney also invented some of the things that helps the hauler run. Okay, stuff that Spade really doesn't know yet, because even though she operates the hauler, she doesn't know that Barney invented this shit. You know what I mean? So,
gotcha.
so like, there's things that the hauler does that no other hauler would do. Like, it has like the insane maneuverability. Some of it you got a taste of in chapter 1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
By the way.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. That action scene. You storyboarded that out so beautifully.
I appreciate that.
It looked great. That was fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was one of those things that was. It's like when you with an illustrator that you go back and forth with to make sure you get it just right. That was one of those things, because it was the first real, like, space fight, and I couldn't spread it over fucking 6 pages. You know what I mean? So
normally you get like a 2-page splash with a bunch of explosions and like movement art and stuff, and it's cool, but
and in most battles, I don't know, like in real life, most fights don't last very long. You know what I mean? But like a space battle wouldn't last very long either. You know what I mean? So it's like I had to communicate something really fast, and I had to keep it realistic. Like, why does one get away? Well, they don't have the fuel to chase him down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I just gave everybody a spoiler, but you know what I mean. But it's just.
I honestly expected them to continue that, that mission on, and just say fuck the fuel cost. But I also shut up, Private Love. But anyway, no. The reason I brought up Scooter is I'm a big fan of the Borderlands series, and Scooter obviously is, a reference from the Dukes of Hazzard Scooter. But he talks about things like the pimento taco, the pimentaco. And he created the catch-a-ride system that just generates a vehicle out of thin air in the Borderlands system. But he's insane. He basically enlists you to kidnap his girlfriend once during the second game, and when you find her, she would rather fight you to the death than go back to Scooter. So.
Well, I don't know if you caught in the story. Barney has a girlfriend named Millie, right?
Right.
And Millie, there's in the Hero of the Cleansing, in the very, very back, like right, probably I think right before the schematic of the hauler, there's a splash page where they're at Millie's bar, Millie's diner. It's,
that's where he picks up the 2 chicks to bang at the same time.
No. That's not that's a different place. I'm talking about in the Hero of the Cleansing, the first volume, right? Okay. In the very, 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 very back of that book, it's right the page before the schematic. right? So
yeah,
it's like this 2-page illustration, and they're all sitting there. It's after the story's over. It's like an afterthought. You know what I mean? It's not an afterthought. It's like it's kind of. I tried to get that feel of like when you're like when you're done watching a movie and they kind of give you like a little like taste of like some closure. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like that's what I was trying to do that. You know, so Love is sitting there with Gene and Barney, and Millie is behind the bar, and Barney's ordering a drink. Anyway, so that's Millie. She was she was introduced there and in a trading card. She's actually a big part of the series pushing forward. She owns that diner, which is basically, you know, a bar slash diner, you know, at a big, you might say truck stoppy kind of place in Europa. Europa being a moon of Jupiter. So the beautiful part about that is that there's so many things that are going to be introduced that surround Millie, but you really get to know Barney when Millie gets in trouble, which again happens in a future book. It doesn't happen in Rise of the Pirate King, but Millie gets in trouble, and Barney becomes a big part of the story as far as because he gets to come first before. So all the stuff you're curious about Love and Barney is coming out, and I'm trying not to do spoilers, but it's like all that's there, man. It really is. So Barney is kind of like Love's Q. You know what I mean? But because they're kind of blue collar, but because they're blue collar dudes, you know what I mean? So Barney's kind of like he even has a thick fucking southerny like, kind of like accent. You know what I mean?
Oh, so he talks like me. Okay,
it's like low budget James Bond.
Yeah, he talks more like Cooter.
Oh, he talks a little bit like this.
He talk a little bit more like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, I understand how it goes. You know, this is a normal twang you get around here. You gotta really fight it so you don't talk like this too much. It's more like Jerry the King Lawler and Dusty Rhodes had a bastard baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he doesn't use the turns of phrases and the slang as much because it is so far in the future that stuff has been dropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he is in the middle of space, but you know what I mean.
No, I feel like you still need.
End of the solar system.
I feel like you still need space rednecks. Like maybe everybody on Mars. Maybe
they're there, man. They're there, but okay. So like the space redneck that you're thinking about. Okay, let me tell you, they're. I'm not gonna tell you when they're gonna get introduced. I tell you what, these guys are. Let's if you just put it like this, if you have some guys that were sent way out to deep space in a planet called planet called Uranus.
Not my anus.
And no, the planet's name. Or some people call it Uranus. You know, you can also pronounce it Uranus.
You can be wrong. It's cool.
But yeah, so out there you have what would be like the snow Ozarks. You know what I mean? Because it's so icy, it's just like dead zone. You know, ice, quiet. You know, whatever. But there's all kinds of, because it's so far away from the sun, there's a whole new, I introduce a whole new like kind of like life that's found out there. And so the hillbillies out there really kind of like they get away, they go out there to work, you know what I mean? But they also go out there to get away from, you know what I mean? So those guys are what you would call like the hillbillies of the solar system. You know what I mean?
My chat.
Does that make sense?
My chat right now is a gold mine for future ideas. It looks like. Start space NASCAR, need space moonshiners, the Snowzarks. I mean, this is just the gold mine of ideas if you haven't already thought of them. But you know, just that
actually leads. That actually leads to a question, which I don't remember if we asked you this the first time you were on, but So, how far forward do you have, like, at least the Pirate King volume, like, planned? Not necessarily written entirely.
Six books.
Okay, so Rise of the Pirate King itself, that book is 6 chapters. It is already completely outlined, and dialogue is written through most of the book. I've had to change up things here and there just because of how life associates. But as far as how far does the story arc for Captain Love go, I got probably 10 books worth of story.
That's 10 volumes.
I mean, not 10 chapters.
Yeah,
10
not
volumes,
10 chapters.
not 10 chapters.
Yeah.
So that'd be additional 10. So like when I was done with those 10, there would probably be 12. And then by the time I get there, there's going to be more. So
what's the flashback game look like in those future volumes? Don't give anything away, of course, but
okay. Well, okay, so there's the kind of flashbacks you're going to see is you're going to see a lot more of the cleansing itself, elements of the cleansing. You're going to see a lot more interaction between Jean and Love. You're going to see a little bit more Odessa and Love. You're going to see you're going to see a lot of things that you didn't expect to see. I can't tell you what they are because they're supposed to be surprises. You're gonna, but they're in the flashbacks. Love is gonna. You're gonna see the Solar Guard. There's gonna be a whole big thing about the Solar Guard itself, not just that short little battle and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's they did training, they did that kind of stuff, and then after the cleansing was over, the Solar Guard still existed. So there was also a kind of changing of the guard in the Solar Guard as well, which happens after the cleansing. So,
and just to clarify,
are we going to see more of the minor sluts?
Did you say minor sluts?
Yeah,
not minor sluts, Chad. He's talking about sluts that also happen to be in what's the word I'm looking for? In occupation. Miners. They mine.
Well, I'm just wondering because there's 3 ways you can go about that, and all of that could be 3 different ways and intermixed. I mean,
I just don't want to get canceled. We're not talking about underage sluts. We're talking about we're talking about sluts who are also miners with pickaxes and grizzled demeanors.
Minor as an occupation,
not minor as a classification. Yes.
As a guitar player, and you can attest to this, Drew, it really sucks when you break a G string while fingering A minor.
All right, everybody, that was the Gospel of Comics. We've had a great show here. We want to thank Drew. Fuck you guys, I'm out. I joke, of course. Fuck you, Ayrton, you're fired. Fucking boot you from the Discord server. You won't be able to figure out how to get back on for the whole show. Anyway,
I mean, you're probably right.
But no, just for the people who don't know and have foolishly not backed the project yet, which you can do by clicking the links in the description down below for Rise of the Pirate King Chapter 1. What are the Solar Guard? If I'm not mistaken, they were basically the Republic in Star Wars. The planetary alignment.
The Solar Guard, a.k.a. the Star Force. Yes.
Right.
Not the Space Force, not to be mistaken with the Space Force.
And they were created.
In fact, I came up with that first, just so you know. I had it first.
And they were created to combat the corporation, which is essentially the Empire in your universe. The corporation.
That is a way to do. Yeah, that's one way to describe it. Yeah.
So just so you guys know, the Star Force or the Solar Guard is the Republic or the Rebels, and the Empire is the corporation, basically.
So yeah, so like just to be a little bit more specific, the Third Eye, the corporation, they created their own private army to take over the planets to try and control all commerce, just all of it. They just wanted all commerce at all. They figured, they said, you know what, we're not happy with our fucking 60% of commerce. We want it all.
So Amazon.
Yeah.
So because
and yeah, Amazon, it's like if Amazon took on Walmart, you know what I mean? And then they,
Okay.
you know, okay. So the corporation isn't really like the empire, because the empire is what the republic was, you know, and then it became the empire. You know what I mean? As if you really stole it. So it's not the same as that. But so what it is the corporation was like this huge business, and they just got really fucking greedy, and they just wanted it all. And so they tried to force it all, and then because people resisted, they started killing motherfuckers left and right, started slaughtering large groups of people. And so the politicians, leaders, whatever you want to call them, the leadership of the planets, not just Earth but Mars and, you know, the moons, and you know, they all decided together, and Uranus. They decided to work. They joined together to create a policing guard for the solar system, the Solar Guard, aka the Star Force. You know.
Okay.
So, and Captain Love was a major in that. He led a team to stop the big, huge super ship that the Executive General put together to attack Venus, and which is basically the middle part of the Hero of the Cleansing book right there. So
yeah,
you gotta get that book. You want them details.
Yes, you need to, because Venus is again every little boy's dream ever once you become an adult.
The pleasure planet.
That is correct. Oh man, no. Having read these two books, I love them both. That was basically most of my questions. We ask you the what would you write given a blank check in the main publisher's question, right? You could write anything. We asked you that already, didn't we?
You asked me. Yeah. You said who would I pick if I could pick any character to write, and I picked a Nomad.
Yeah. Okay. So Joseph McKeever in the chat says, if it was Space Force, it would be ineffective. Wayland Yutani. I have no idea what that means.
Wayland is Prometheus aliens. You know, Wayland Technologies.
Oh, okay.
And then Yutani. I'm trying to. What series is Yutani? Is not the Alien series.
I hear some Googling going on in the background. No,
y'all. I'm trying to remind myself of who Yutani is.
No, I wanted to talk about these books. I read them both today. I know why Venus is so awesome, and it's absolutely fantastic. Dillard Draws says, I think you're thinking of Risa from Trek.
The company from I got you. Okay.
Yeah, the company from Aliens is Wayland Yutani.
Yeah. Yutani Corporation is Xenopedia Founded. It's a Japanese cybernetics company. Yeah. So Wayland Yutani is the two corporations blending together. So that's okay. So that is from that also. But yeah, Wayland was that. I knew that for sure. I didn't know. I don't keep up on the lore as well as I should on other people's properties.
I mean, you have enough of your own as it is.
Oh, I'm developing the lore, you know, and not only that is I actually have another completely different series coming out sometime in the beginning of next year. So it's a completely different series. It's not even it's not even really a sci-fi. So it's a completely different series. Yeah, and no spoilers other than that at this point. Just so you guys, if you guys love Captain Love and all that kind of stuff, you love the way I write shit, you're gonna love this one too. So.
Well, look at that cock tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and Captain Love is going on for a long time. I'm not gonna like hit the brakes on Captain Love. I'm gonna keep it rolling out. You know what I mean? I got right now. I got the game plan set until the money gets bigger. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep rolling at the pace I'm rolling right now. You know, where it's gonna be hopefully about this year we're gonna just do chapter 2, and then next year we're gonna do 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know, we
holy
have 4
shit
campaigns. Yeah, and so we're gonna have all the chapters will be done by the end of next year. So you'll have your so by Christmas next year, Christmas 2021, you'll have your final Captain Love to read, and then after that, in January, early February, sometime in there, we're gonna do a campaign for the completed graphic novel for all of that. And then sometime after that, probably in the middle of summer, July, maybe around this time, early August, we will start chapter 1 for the next book. And we'll just keep that going where it'll be 2 chapters, then it'll be 4 chapters the following year. And then it'll be the graphic novel for the first half of the year, and then the 2 chapters for the second half of the year. And we'll just keep that cycle up until the money's bigger to where I can step it up.
So it's almost like you have an actual business model in place.
Well, yeah, I'm an actual businessman. Yes.
Real quick before you guys get off on that tangent, if I put the Discord link in the chat, are you open to take people to call in?
Sure.
I mean, most people that are here are already in the Discord and can jump in the waiting room. If you're not, click on that link. Join the Discord. Hop in the waiting room if you have questions for Mr. Drew-ish, not Jewish. And that joke will never get old to me.
Funny. It's so funny. Okay, so like it's like I can like one of our
on the waiting room.
Okay, so my name exists. My name exists in one of all of our favorite movies. What movie is it?
Your name, Drew-ish.
Yes.
Spaceballs.
You got it. Damn it.
You motherfucker.
All the time. She doesn't look Drewish.
Nail it. Exactly right. You got that right.
Now, give Ayrton a prize. Welcome to the show, Mr. Rune Knight, number 3. How are you doing, sir? Rune Knight, can you hear us, buddy?
Rune Knight, unmute
I can hear
yourself.
you.
Okay.
No, it was Discord taking its sweet ass time.
Oh, sexy.
Right. How you doing, buddy?
So, I'm getting by. I know nothing about your book, and I already want it.
Well, there's links in the description, so I hope you decide on to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the horrible part is I might actually have the money for it now.
That's not a horrible thing at all. You should buy it. Sign up for the mailing list.
As you know, my old man passed. I got to sell my house. I got to move with my mom.
Oh,
and we're
shit,
working
buddy.
up the whole, all the funds and where bills go and stuff. And it's like, wait a minute, my dad died, and now I have more money, not less.
That kind of sometimes that money is that kind of money is the kind of money that's real special because it's inheritance money is money that is it's money that you get to use for something that's important to you. But you know what I mean? You're not going to use inheritance money to pay the PG&E bill. You're gonna buy it. Yeah.
Most of this is from the state for support, but. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. It's like after bills, after food, there's this surplus I have never had before, and I'm gonna sell a house that's worth about $40,000, and if I make back market value, it's like, oh look, comfort. That's strange.
His house is really worth. What state is his house in?
Washington State.
Washington State and it's only worth $40,000. Wow.
It's just a double wide trailer.
Oh, okay.
Well, right now property values are at an all-time low too, so that in mind.
Yeah, that too.
But the thing is, like,
we digress.
But like, here I am, I'm going to have actual money to throw in. It's like, yeah, maybe I can finally invest in like some of these awesome books that I see people making. I can go, yes, look, I support the industry. Yeah. It's not like the industry's buying what I'm doing.
Well, what are you?
I warn you. I warn you. It's addictive. It's addictive.
Oh, I'm sure.
Indie comics are
really
more addictive than mainstream comics in a big fat way, man.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to get an indie comic made. Is the thing, and I have the opposite end problem as well, where it's like trying to get the word out there and move hearts and minds to think about, perhaps investing in my small indie startup would be a good idea. To the extent that I'm actually really salty right now, because on some level, while I can't blame people for like having better things to invest in with like COVID, with the cooch, whatever,
the coof.
At the same time, I feel slighted, as though the extremists who want to keep white Anglo males out of the business have stolen the opportunity for my father to see my work in print, which just fuels my fire to get published.
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's good fuel right there. That's good fuel.
Yeah, what you need to do, Ruin, is just focus on that and use every ounce of those feelings of needing to accomplish that and get it done, man.
Well, while we're sitting on this page here, I have to ask you guys. You guys read who read chapter 1? Rune did not.
I mean, I can.
Yeah.
I have the power.
You see that bottom panel there that. so did you appreciate that panel when you could see the whole thing?
Oh yes. I was actually going to make a comment on that, even though there is quite a few, not quite a few, but gratuitous sex scenes in the 2 books. They were, if nothing else, tasteful. It wasn't like the original heavy metal that
would
just
you call them gratuitous?
No. Well, what I'm saying is, between the 2 books, there were a couple of sex scenes, and that's more than you get in most comic books that aren't, porn comics. But because we've all seen porno comics,
we got to be careful, because a lot of people who haven't seen it don't want to draw the wrong idea. This is not even like soft porn. It's like R-rated. That's it. You know what I mean? And so like the scenes, it's nudity. It's what you'd get like in an R-rated movie. There's no penetration. There's no genitalia. This is not. It's not an adult comic. It's a mature comic.
Right.
There's what, 1 nipple on the.
That's what I was getting at. If you motherfuckers would let me finish.
Sorry.
Is that? Okay.
Hey, you always complain about me not talking enough during these interviews.
Well, I complain about you talking during them too. So, but no, what I was getting at is
I'll just go jerk off.
Well, I mean, I assumed you were doing that anyway. But what I was getting at is that the sex scenes in this book they're well placed. They're well storyboarded. There's no, there's no question that this is an action comic with some adult themes. This isn't something that, you're gonna hide under your math book or whatever to spank it.
Yeah, it's definitely not masturbatory material at all. No, sorry, guys.
But 12-year-old me would have greatly enjoyed that 1 nipple.
Hey, remember, there was a time when people thought Barbarella was extreme, so.
Well, I mean, if you've seen some of the videos I have, I'm sorry.
Barbarella was a great movie though, and the comic books that came out were pretty cool too. So.
Yeah, Pam Anderson had her spot, but the porno with Tommy Lee after the fact. So.
Well, I mean, then you have the most epic question of ages. Which is better, Flesh Gordon or Flash Gordon?
Well, Flesh Gordon sucked. So literally,
unfortunately.
Did you?
But Flash Gordon with Sam Jones was fucking badass. In fact, it's one of the things that also inspires a lot of this book. So,
did you have a specific question for Drew, Rune Knight, or?
No, I mostly wanted to just give my unimportant platitudes about this looks awesome.
Thank you.
And I mean, as to this panel, he's appreciating it, she's appreciating it. I think we're all appreciating it.
Well, I think that's all you can hope for, but yeah.
The suck off Drew stream.
Well, there are certain terms in my contract, so.
True.
You have a contract?
Only with you.
With himself.
It's a social contract.
Drunk him has a contract with sober him.
Oh, okay.
He's not wrong. He really isn't. Like,
as long as it's not written in, as long as the contract's not written in vomit.
What the fuck are you
putting on a bar towel?
No, it's written in goat's blood, so we're good.
What the hell are you putting in our Discord?
Who?
I mean, metal.
Delta.
Oh no, he's talking about Adam Post book. Adam Post. No wait, Adam Post hasn't been on the show. Adam Friended has. Early Adam Post work. Bambi. Apparently, there's some.
Somebody.
If you look in the show suggestions, yeah, if you look in the show suggestions, right up. I'm not going to bring this up on screen, but it's Bambi versus God Dildo.
Oh, okay.
Every day we stray, Chad. We stray further from God.
I hate you so much, Chad.
I cannot tell if my life has been improved or diminished.
Definitely been improved.
Possibly both.
We love everyone in our Discord. I'm gonna have to delete those from the show suggestions. You have to post that shit in kitties.
Don't tell him that.
You have the option of whether or not you click on kitties. You know that, but X-rated,
yes, but
Bambi and friends.
That I want to show coworkers.
Well, I mean, save them to your phone. That's not my problem. That's the point of kitties, is that you post all the shit you can't post, but I can't have penises in the show suggestion because you'll get us banned. May God forgive you for looking at that. As a church, God's not going to forgive you for any of that. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
But yeah, we any final thoughts, Rune Knight? Also, anybody else? Click the link for the Discord or jump in the waiting room if you have questions for Drew. Otherwise, we're going to continue to shoot the shit here. Any final thoughts, Rune Knight?
As I sad panned it earlier, it just reminds me of ideas of my own that I really wish I could get play, and I would really want to read this and pass it around to people. Go like, read this, because there is not enough good space opera that isn't just copying Star Wars or Star Trek around. Not enough classic anymore.
Right.
I'm very sad that the most recent John Carter of Mars was neither John Carter nor Martian.
Well, we have our own opinion.
That's
not only on
incorrect.
Well, straight up, John Carter of Mars. Occasionally that book is fucking phenomenal, but it's been fucked so many different ways from Sunday that you just can't get a real good feel on it.
It's like the redheaded stepchild of fucking comic books. It's sad, but
I have an extremely bizarre position, and this is an excellent point for you to kick me out when you're done with me. And that is that John Carter, and to a lesser extent, Flash Gordon aren't right. They're not quite good without the racism. And the reason is because lately a lot of people have been going off about...
Real quick, Rune Knight, I disavow. Go ahead.
Lately, people have been harping on Lovecraft because there's a push to get him posthumously dishonored.
You can't cancel a dead man. You can't cancel a dead man.
Yeah, for holding beliefs that were inappropriate now, but are of his time. Well, when it comes to John Carter or Flash Gordon, Edgar Rice Burroughs was a closeted homosexual, intensely homophobic publicly, and like a chauvinist, racist jerkface.
Oh, so he was basically that
in his work. It's true.
He was basically that detective from what was that goddamn movie with the two Irish kids? Boondock Saints. He was basically the detective from Boondock Saints.
The thing is,
you want to cuddle?
The thing is that
what a bundle of sticks.
The thing is that for all the negative reflected in the work, right? It's also like a time capsule, a time when we didn't have the scientific knowledge we have now, when you could suggest things about what the future is going to be that didn't have to get bogged down in a bunch of freaking technobabble, right? You could just have a space adventure in a space that never happened, in a place that never was, and it was okay. Well, Flash Gordon has the implicit yellow peril of Ming the Merciless. You can't escape it. You can't have Flash Gordon without Ming the Merciless. You have to have it. And Max von Sydow's Ming the Merciless is the best Ming the Merciless. Even though I like William Sadler's Ming the Merciless, it's... Come on.
Isn't that essentially why they can't reprint Detective Comics number 1 through 26?
Probably.
Because of the blatant Chinese racism?
Yeah.
It's not even that I'm not even saying that racism is like a good thing, because it's not. I'm saying that it's a flavor.
Welcome to my restaurant. Today's special treatment of some young guy.
Well, spark up a conversation with Novel Bro in the Discord room night.
Sure. But that brings us back to this comic. This comic, if it's inspired by the classics, can only do great things. At least I hope it can only do great things. It already has, heterocentric males doing awesome things.
Like two chicks at the same time. In a shag shuttle.
Yeah, Drew, your comic book promotes heteronormativity and toxic masculinity. Those are allegedly...
Fuck all them SJWs.
Wait a minute.
Fuck all them SJWs. My comic book also is diverse. Okay, he does both black and white girls.
I was about to say the only black people in the comic are ones that Dr. Love or Captain Love is nailing, but it's cool, right?
Wait. Doesn't this mean we're not allowed to like the Fifth Element anymore? Because the Fifth Element's like somebody's problem?
Look, big bada boom, goddamn.
Yeah, I know, right?
Lilu Dallas multipass, motherfucker.
Just try and quote Blazing Saddles out in public.
Nobody move!
Oh, Lord, do what he say.
He's gonna kill the bone.
Candygram for Mongo.
Candygram for Mongo.
Is it true what they say about your kind?
Look, I want you to go out there and do that voodoo that you do.
Look, big hands, big feet, big nose, big ears. The motherfucker better be packing because he looks goofy as shit.
That's funny.
Anyway, Rune Knight, is that your final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, that is. Kick me to the curb.
Well,
Send me back out into the world.
Thank you for joining us, man. We hope to hear from you again.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in, man.
Yep.
All right. Well, certainly that was absolutely lively, and again, the comparison to a space opera. I'm reminded of the rock opera that we watched in the Discord last Sunday, Repo, the genetic opera. Familiar with that?
Repo, the genetic opera? No, I'm not. But when I think rock opera, I think of like Hair or Jesus Christ Superstar or something.
Oh no,
like
man!
that.
You gotta watch Repo. Basically, there's a bitch with cybernetic eyes, and the whole storyline revolves around a repo man for an organ company that runs around like taking organs back after you renege on your payments. Pretty fantastic.
I've seen that Repo Man movie.
Yeah, Repo,
which is sort of like.
Yeah, Repo Man is basically like a softcore version of Repo the Genetic Opera. The main point of Repo the Genetic Opera is that Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the Repo Man. And he sings a lot, but there's also a gravedigger and Paris Hilton in slutty goth clothing. So it was all provided by her from her closet. Danielle in the chat, if she's still around, can attest. It was phenomenal.
And I just had to pass out Sunday night and miss this.
But
I'm not familiar with it. So you have to in the DM send me a link to a trailer or something for it so I can check it out later.
Oh, I'll do better than that. There's a playlist of all the songs, which is basically the whole movie minus the speaking parts, because it's a musical. But there's a YouTube playlist where you can basically watch all of the songs in order and get the gist of the whole movie. There's a guy in the movie that wears.
I have to ask you, how many times have you watched that playlist?
Well, I've seen the movie probably 327 times. So, I used to live in a house.
It's amazing he has 3 kids.
Well, if not, actually, I used to live in a house with 2 chicks, and we just put stuff in the DVD player and let it play on repeat until we got tired of it, because all we did was smoke weed, drink, and party. So,
yeah, fair enough.
I miss my 20s.
When a buddy of mine first got into smoking weed was when the first Thor movie came out on DVD, and him and his roommate got stupidly high and just watched that, the menu screen with the hammer flying through the Bifrost.
Fuck yeah!
For 4 hours.
Oh, that's what I did when I was on acid the last time. It was fantastic. I mean, I don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Good. But anyway, so Chapter 2 is getting ready for the mailing list. We have the link for that down in the description below. What's your are you done writing that book? Is where's the art team with
Chapter
that?
2?
Yeah.
Chapter two is in the lettering process now. It's completely the art's completely colored and illustrated and finished, and all sitting on my computer being lettered. So
fantastic.
It is.
So yeah, it'll be finished before before the campaign is over, and so when the campaign's over, it's just about timing out the shipping.
Now, the collector in me has to know something.
Did anyone who backed...
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, anyone who backed this last campaign, are they automatically on the mailing list, or do you have to go sign up for the new mailing list?
If you want the free art that comes with the Chapter 2 campaign, you have to get on that mailing list.
All right. Yes. Well, that tells me what I need to go do.
Yeah, and I just do that so that it's like an awareness game, so people don't get negligent. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's fair.
Now, quick question. First off,
yes,
Your book is fantastic.
That's not quick. That's not very quick. Thank you. That wasn't very quick. Though.
It's my goddamn show.
Big, long.
I'm gonna unzip my pants and start beating off like Ayrton pantomimed earlier. If you don't shut the fuck up.
How do you know I pantomimed it?
I hate you so much. Anyway, I needed to ask, can you two banter for like 3 minutes while I go refill my glass? Because I'm outside. I have to go back in.
Probably.
So
I thought we actually probably could have. We were in the middle of doing that. That probably could have happened. You probably could have gone and done that and come back. The whole time you're prepping that whole bit.
I hate both of you so much. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna kick you both from the show, and then I'm gonna finish the show by myself, talking shit about both of you with my refilled drink. But carry the show while I'm gone. Forget that I said I was gonna kick.
I think Drew's my favorite guest so far. This is great. so
I hang up, you guys. You guys are fun. What's that? You have another thing?
Yeah. So something I want to compliment you on is one, the packaging on this. This showed up, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. Everything was perfect. I got the 2 prints, the bookmark, the trading card. It's all gorgeous. Like, I need to give you accolades on just how well the presentation of this project when it was delivered came. This is great.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people in the community charge a shitload for their books, and they'll just throw it in a fucking Gemini mailer, and here you go. You know what I mean? Maybe
and the letter. The letter that was in the package. Sorry, forgot about that part.
Yeah, no, the thank you letter for backers. Yeah, I mean that's heartfelt, man. That's real shit. I mean, it's true that anybody who backs Captain Love, the money just goes right back into Captain Love. So when you back one of these projects, you're helping not only the existing chapter that you backed or whatever, but the whole thing moving forward. You're helping Captain Love get out there to the whole world. You know what I mean? And any other project that I do. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is that everyone that backs is Captain Love to the rescue.
Yeah. Yes.
To be totally honest, I don't remember how much I actually spent on this because I was fairly inebriated when I backed this. but
I can tell you
on this,
I can tell you if you want. I know. I can tell you.
So I just got the chapter 1 tier. That was it of the Rise of the Pirate King.
Did you get it signed or just get chapter 1?
Just chapter 1.
And then you spent $15.
Okay,
and that's it. And no shipping on top of that, right? That's for shipping included.
I'm surprised this didn't come with an auto suck function with how good of a deal this was.
Well, here's how I look at it. Here's how I look at it. I like you'll have these people who think that they're doing a 48-page graphic novel and they're going to sell it for $25 and they feel that's fine. Personally, I want to be providing content that's priced equal to what you'll get at a local comic book shop. Even though it's a smaller run, it's more exclusive. You know what I mean? It's got more love than you'll get at a comic book shop. But that's because it's indie. You know what I mean? Right. But it's like I want it to sit on the shelves, and be. If it was sitting on the shelves in a comic book shop, it'd be competitive with anything now on there. So pricing wise, I gotta have it $3.99. Right.
I was going to comment on that. I saw that when I was reading the first book. I looked at it and I saw the price tag of $3.99, which is something most like Indiegogo and crowdfunded books lack as a price tag. But it doesn't give you a feel of what it would do if it was going head to head with the actual industry.
Right. So the comic book itself, just the comic book, is $3. Then the bagging and boarding is $1 value. Right. So that makes the just in the bag is a $5 thing. Then obviously you got all the stretch goal activity bonuses because it's a special quality product. So that's a few extra bucks worth of worth there. You know what I mean? And then the shipping quality is you're not going to have anybody ship something better. This is not some Gemini mailer you throw it in here. I wrap the books in bubble wrap.
Oh yeah,
tape them securely.
It was super obnoxious to open,
but it didn't. But opening it didn't damage the books at all. You know what I mean? It was you could easily cut away at stuff and get to it without hurting the books, and the books come completely undamaged, pristine, and you know, and it should be that way. You know what I mean? And you know, I had a lot of issues with the first fulfillment process. Like I like a lot of people like had books get fucked up and shit. And so I even like enhanced what I was doing. I was already going above and beyond then, but I like, okay, well, this is a problem here. How do I avoid that problem from happening again? This problem happened here. How do I avoid that problem happening again? Oh, look, this thing got dropped in a puddle. What do I do about that? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
You know, you drop a Gemini mailer in a puddle, guess what? It's still going to soak up all that water. You know, the way I do the bubble wrap is I tape it to the cardboard so that it is watertight. Basically, if they drop that thing in a puddle, it's going to have to sit in that puddle for a very long time and absorb a lot of water before it gets to your book.
Now
we gotta get home from work and open it.
We gotta hook you up with Winger of Super Harem and get you in some Ziploc bags.
Yeah,
son.
I got the in fact Winger knows about my wrapping techniques. So he even like when they blew him shit about his books, he actually like you know said that when he was doing his next one, when he shipped mine out, he made sure that he called it all out on Twitter so that I would follow up and make sure that I would exploit how well it was wrapped when it got to me. So,
oh no, straight up. I would never give shit to Winger over the Ziploc bag. The Ziploc bag is better than the bag and board in the sense that it is a watertight, airtight seal. You know,
he did both. Just so you know, he bagged and boarded, and then he put it in a Ziploc. So, and that was to waterproof.
Well,
so,
Chad Middleton in the chat says pristine packaging, unlike diamond distribution, and he's absolutely right. I don't know if I probably haven't talked to you about this, Drew, but I used to like sideline as the comics guy at my local comic store because they were so into like sports cards and trading card games and shit like that by the time that the original owner sold the shop.
Bathroom break story time.
Oh yeah, go ahead. But you know, they were so into alternative stuff that weren't comic books by the time that I started working for them that I would come in on Tuesday or Wednesday whenever they got their comic shipment. I would bag and board everything. I would inspect for damages. I would, you know, check off everybody's pull list. And when you got to looking at some of these books, like anything that was on the bottom of the box was basically written off damage. But because Diamond didn't accept returns, you had to file a complaint over damaged packaging. And they'd want photo proof. You'd have to send the book back at your own expense for a credit if it was actually damaged. It was pretty fucked. But that was my day to day. Oh, go ahead.
I actually have a completely different policy than Diamond. When someone, I don't even make people. I mean, in all reality, I don't even make people prove that they fucking have damaged books. If they just tell me, they write me to say, look, my books got fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I usually just replace them. You know what I mean? And people could be taking advantage of me in some cases, but I find that most people don't. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes, you know, nowadays it's really hard. Just you say the way I do my packaging now, it's really hard. The mailman has to intentionally fuck it up for it to get fucked up. You know what I mean? They can step on it, walk on it, throw it like mad. You got one, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
that shit was fucking.
No, your packaging is top notch. It was actually frustrating as shit to open.
It was like Fort Knox.
Until I decided, like, I looked at it close enough and I was like, okay, I can actually take a blade to this and not fuck the book up. So that's what I ended up doing. But I was trying to find the seam of the tape and shit at first. That's what you should do. Include like a written stamp on the inside of the envelope that just says, "Hey, you can cut the tape without fucking the book up. I'm that smart." Because I don't trust people shipping books out to be that smart.
Yeah. I could send a little like how to open.
Yeah, just get like 4 stamps that are just like step by step. Cut the tape, open the package, pull the book out, make sure the tape doesn't catch the book. Did you have to spell that out?
Actually, in all reality, there's a it's not a sleeve of so like if you go to the tape that is on the bubble wrap right there, the packing tape, that will rip open. You can just unwrap the book.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you can actually, you don't have to like slide it out like a sleeve. You can actually open it.
Well, even for somebody that's been...
I cut it open.
Yeah, even for somebody that's been buying books
I was too excited to sit there and meticulously try and unwrap it. I was like, fuck it. The pocket knife, just cut it.
I unwrapped it just because I wear gloves when I fucking so. I don't want to get my fingerprints on the pages, but
just so you know, the company that I use to print these does a nice treatment to the pages so that you can handle them without screwing them up. Your little human oils will not ruin these pages.
Goddamn right they won't, because I'm wearing gloves.
Or just like
Shut up, Ayrton! Don't jerk off into the book.
To create a lot of things.
The nipple's not that exciting, Ayrton.
There was that one nipple. There was a single nipple.
I hate you so much. Oh, are you glad you came on, Drew? Is this everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, you guys are fun. I like hanging out with you guys.
I mean, it's not like it's his first time on the show.
Put some Trump 2020 stickers on the box and see how it survives those posts.
It won't make the trip. I put Trump 2020 stickers on there. It'll disappear in the mail.
That's right. That's right.
Especially now, because you do know that the Trump's postmaster general fucking is cut everybody's overtime, telling people to fucking leave comics, and everybody's getting shouted out by fucking customers and stuff like that. The post office is a disaster right now. They'll make those packages disappear, man. Like, oh, I mailed that to the fucking Abu Dhabi. Sorry.
Like, actually, I don't know if you guys, Drew, you probably don't know this, but Trump's actually a really good friend of mine. He occasionally calls into the show. He has a special method that he gives to hear.
You're fired.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate it, buddy. And Ayrton is gone now. Fired. He actually left the fucking chat.
He did. He's not in the chat.
No, he's not. He's gone. I regret my decision immensely.
Oh,
wait! I forgot to give you my keys.
You're not actually fired. You can't leave. I don't pay you. So. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
That's it's an overplayed gimmick that we haven't done in a while. So I retired. I retired all the gimmicks for a little while just to make sure the audience didn't get tired of them. Occasionally, I got to break out the classics.
We enjoy them.
All right, so you got more questions? Do you have any more questions about Captain Love? I love answering Captain Love questions. Nobody ever asks me enough questions.
Well, you actually answered the correct way to pronounce Spade. Like, I was unsure of myself. I don't know if I told you this story, but when Cyberfrog came out, the first volume of Cyberfrog, Blood Honey, Ethan Van Sciver actually graced the chat and brought some people with him, and it was amazing. But I'm Southern, and English is my second language, so I couldn't pronounce any of his fucked up pronunciations in that book. And he was, correcting me the entire time we were trying to review this fucking thing.
It was great.
And
he's like, no, it's pronounced Vizpiz.
Yeah, and I'm just like, God damn it! But I got Spade right on the first try, so I appreciated that you on that before I even had to ask. No, the questions that I have, like, you've answered most of them, and one of the main ones was about the backstory. I wanted to know if we were going to get more than just Spades peeking into Captain Love's mind as an explanation for that, because it's one thing to reference a catalyst event that basically is used to jump off the entire story, but it's another thing entirely. Like, I'll use Cyberfrog as a reference a second time. In Wreck Planet, you open up with Cyberfrog's been deactivated for X amount of years, and the Vespis have taken over the universe in Wreck Planet, and you kind of pick up from there. Well, the opportunity is obviously there to go back and talk about the stories that happened in that time frame, and you've kind of alluded to the point that you're going to get some stories in the future. So my second question on that vein would be, is there going to be like a collector's edition, like an omnibus or a box set or something like that, when Captain Love is at what you consider complete or at a stopping point, so to speak?
I don't think there. I don't
it in a condom box.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a stopping point for Captain Love. I don't intend there to be one right now. I do have like places where the story arc shifts. You know what I mean? Like right now, I have seriously 10 books more after Rise of the Pirate King of where like I know story arcs all connect. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yes, it's going to happen at some point. You know what I mean? But when it happens, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I kind of wanted to do a hardcover, like when I got 4 volumes in or whatever, you know what I mean? Because then it could be like 300 pages or some shit,
Right.
Well, but it's just.
That's kind of the reason that I ask, is that once this indie book thing kind of blew up, I've always kind of thought about it in the sense of, I want these things on my bookshelf. Like, I catch a lot of flack from, hardcore comic skaters.
Well, Volume 2, Rise of the Pirate King itself, you can put on your bookshelf next to Hero of the Cleansing, because it'll after the 6 chapters are done, the 7th campaign will be for the trade paperback version, the graphic novel, which will have extras in the book itself. So those, you can put those on your shelf, every book that comes out, so that you can have 12 of those, you know what I mean, with the current story arcs, you know what I mean, and then you can have your floppies, and bagged and boarded with their goodies if you don't use them elsewhere, and you can have those in your nice little comic book boxes, as they increase in value, because these are probably never going to be reprinted. You know what I mean? In floppy format. Yeah. Because why would I? Once the graphic novel is done, why would I reprint the floppies?
You know what I mean? I would do second printings of the floppies in like a collector format. Like, you do a campaign where you do like a box set of all the floppies in a second printing.
If someday, if somebody like really wants them, you know what I mean, like that, and I might do like a special printing of them, you know what I mean. But in my mind, it's like the floppies are for the hardcore collectors, for the people that want to sample Captain Love. You know what I mean?
Hear me out on this, and we'll talk more about this off air. But as a comic collector, let's talk the future of the comics industry. It's all going online, first and foremost. The idea would be that once you get to that second printing status, you're already making enough money, hopefully, on the. I mean, if the money doesn't call for it on the campaign itself, then obviously you don't. But if you're making enough money on future campaigns, popularity, and the future of the comic industry, in my mind, is creators having websites where you can get $5 copies bagged and boarded plus shipping of each individual issue, or you can spend the $25, $30 on the trade, but you're going to have stock to maintain that. And that's
ideally, I'm hoping that that there'll be multiple distribution avenues. Like the LCSs will still be in place, but they'll only sell quality comics, stuff they can actually move. You know what I mean? So that might actually open a door for indie comics to in time establish a distribution relationship with LCSs, which there doesn't exist for indie comics.
Ayrton, I need you to back me up. Ayrton, I need you to back me up on this. Drew is signing himself up to come on and have a debate show with about the future of local comic shops. Because I'm very blacked out on the local comic shop, and Ayrton.
Well, I don't think they're going to go away.
Do I have to moderate this debate, or can I?
No. It won't be like a Bloodsports or anything, but just as a quick synopsis, because we don't have that much more time on the air. We've got about
we really don't.
13 and a half minutes.
And I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead with your question, Ayrton.
Well, you should probably do your synopsis, because my question is not on this topic.
Okay, well, real quick, my thoughts on the LGS is that having worked in one, having been close to one for over 30 years, and seeing them finally retire comic books out of their, general inventory, I guess, I don't think that in 10 years you'll be able to walk into anything besides like a bookstore and find comic books. And places like Marvel and DC are going to get first billing at those bookstores, like Barnes and Noble and fucking Books A Million, all that bullshit. Comic books that have been, featured in movies and shit like that, they're going to get first billing, they're going to get top shelf, they're going to get all this other shit, and it's going to be hard as fuck to pull off getting your book in a Books A Million over what it would be a local, privately owned comic store.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and it really comes down to what the future would hold. And I would say that it would be basically, it's going to be based on relationships, the relationships between the retailer and the consumer, and the relationship between the creator and the distributor to the retailer. You know what I mean? It whatever those relationships are in the future is what's going to define what comes out. Because if people want comics, this is the one thing that people don't get about selling online. All right. Like my book, right? When I go to my local comic book shop and they want more copies. I kind of am not in a hurry to sell them copies of my book to sell on their shelves, even though it moves them really fast. Let me tell you, if I even let people know their physical copies on the shelves, they're gone the next day. You know what I mean? People would rather buy it that way. Just people would rather buy it. They would rather make a special trip to the comic book store and buy my book off the shelf. They also say that's how they discover books, right? Is because they can not only do they okay, well, I'm going to go look at a cover of a book in a fucking off of a website and buy this book that I've never have anything about before because somebody said something. That's a hard sell. You know what I mean? However, if they go into a local comic book shop and they pick it up because the cover's badass, then they can hold it and the quality's awesome. They open it up, they flip through, the artwork's cool. There's all kinds of cool shit in there. They look at the fucking price, they're all like, all right, I'm getting this one. You know what I mean? That's you cannot match that anywhere else but your local comic book shop.
No, you
That
can't.
is why I believe that we'll lose a lot of them, but they'll still exist.
But they'll be so niche is the problem. Like the big stores will
They're
exist.
niche now. They're niche
They've
now.
always been
Well,
niche.
let me. We're not doing the show right now. Stop it. Stop it, everybody. We're not. I'm basically signing you up for this show later. That's where we are with this.
Okay.
That was your audition, Drew.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't an audition. He was already signed up for it, but I'm glad that he could argue because I'm so fucking mad right now. Like there's a vein throbbing in my goddamn forehead because he's wrong. He's fucking wrong. But it's okay. I still love him.
Yeah, normally I cause that vein to throb.
Well, that's a different vein and a different.
That's right.
The different vein and the different head, Ayrton. If you know what I'm saying.
So Drew, my question to close out the show: you're approached by a movie studio to turn this into a film or a TV show or whatever on HBO or something. And you get like producer directorial control. Who are you casting to play Captain Love?
And Spade.
If it's right now.
Yes.
If it's right now, if I
right
out of my
both answers. If it's right now and historical.
Okay, I would if it's right now, I would cast. This is funny. You guys are gonna laugh at this, but I would probably cast James Franco as Captain Love and Mila Kunis as Spade. Yeah, probably if right now. If it was because
hold on,
they would have a great dynamic chemistry and yeah. You said I didn't hear what you said because you guys talked over each other.
Sorry, I said I can see where you're coming from with that decision.
Yeah,
but historically, what would be your answer?
Historically,
like given the option of anybody alive or dead, old or not. Okay. Like if you wanted to cast a young fucking Marilyn Monroe, you could.
I wouldn't do that for
Spade. I'm saying.
But
it's one of the girls that shags Captain Love, maybe.
I don't know. I would say like Angelina Jolie would be a great Spade, but she wouldn't work as well as James Franco as Mila Kunis. That's why I went that way.
Right. But who would work well with Angelina Jolie historically?
Brad Pitt, if they were younger, Brad Pitt's a little old for Captain Love now, so he and Angelina Jolie would make a good combo. But he's a little bit old now for Captain Love.
Brad Pitt looks like a fucking goat now. Ocean's 11 Brad Pitt would work. Ocean's 11 Brad Pitt, Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That would be a great combo.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith era.
Yes. Actually, a little before that. Yeah.
Ben Stiller would make a fantastic bad guy, Chad, but you have to buy the book to figure out who that is.
That's funny.
But anyway, with our last,
you think you like Ben Stiller as the bad guy?
In the first book, not chapter 1 of the second book. But yeah, I like Ben Stiller as the main executive. Yeah.
The executive general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I like Tilda Swinton as the bad guy of the second or first chapter of the second book.
That's actually not bad.
Interesting.
That's actually not bad.
Right?
The only person I would...
It's kind of...
Go ahead.
It's like you can't really, especially since you don't in the first chapter of the second book, since you actually can't really see what the bad guy looks like. That makes it interesting.
Right. I would have picked Ben Kingsley over that just because of the bald head. But
Ben Kingsley's a little bit short and kind of and not evil enough.
I mean,
he can be evil.
He can be evil enough. Like I think people look at, like if you want to see Ben Kingsley being like a shithead,
that's why
just watch his Sopranos appearance. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not evil per se, but it shows him as more nonchalant because most people remember him from Iron Man now, and that's a goddamn shame.
Actually, when I think of Ben Kingsley, my mind goes to Gandhi first every time.
That was a bad role for him too.
He did so well in it, man. That was an amazing movie.
But it didn't feel like Ben Kingsley like acting. It felt like Ben Kingsley being Ben Kingsley as an Indian man. But
as an Indian.
But you know, when he was in Sopranos, like
I would pick.
Go ahead.
Or for the villain, Irish comedian actor Dara O'Brien. Look him up if you don't know who that is.
Nobody's gonna look him up.
I could see that. I mean, he's pretty fucking funny.
Not gonna happen.
I just looked it up. He's kind of thick. I think
he is.
He's a little bit thick.
You think he'd do the Christian Bale diet and lose the weight?
Nah, I don't think so. He's got that. Oh yeah, what's his voice like?
Yeah, his voice I think could work well for that role.
Yeah. Well, I would give you guys tips on who I would cast as the baddie in the Rise of Pirate King. But if I did that, it would give you tips to what he looked like out of the shadows. So I'm not gonna do that.
Ooh.
What that means, Chad, is Sam Jackson. He would cast Sam Jackson. The bad guy's black. I'm sorry. I apologize.
He's not actually. He's
it's
not.
Dave Chappelle.
You motherfuckers need to take care of this motherfucking Pirate King.
It's Dave Chappelle acting like Sam Jackson is the bad guy. I ain't yelling. This is how I talk.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's funny that people thought that Captain Love was going to be the Pirate King. You know what I mean? I think I tried to dispel that myth before the book came out because I didn't want people to be disappointed. You know what I mean?
But he should Riddick his way into being the Pirate King.
Well, the thing is, piracy is something Love is completely antithesis of. You know what I mean? He's a hero. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Jack Sparrow was a good guy.
No. What I'm trying to tell you is,
Jack Sparrow was a protagonist. He wasn't a good guy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm all about the accolades, not the minutia.
Piracy is about taking is theft and piracy in deep space is in this in space is basically taking somebody's livelihood away. If somebody steals Love's load, he's not getting paid. You know what I mean?
except by those two chicks,
right? Who stole his load? Different kind of way.
Yeah, that's right. Chad Middleton in the chat asks if the villain looks like Terry Crews.
Now,
actually, I think he looks more like Sam Jackson than like Terry Crews. Just
got him. All right, now, real quick, there is something that I need to do for a friend of the show, somebody that's done artwork. They're going through a tough time right now. I'm not going to get into the personal bits of it, but if you look on the screen right now, there is someone putting together. Gabe Franchi over on GoFundMe is putting together a fundraiser for Optic Decay on Twitter. One of the co-hosts of Morning Decay. Again, he's done some commission work for the Church of Failure. You'll see that in your avatar, showing it on screen. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs. Optic going through a hard time right now, so if you have the time or money to spare, whatever, consider going to look at that. I'll put that in chat real quick, and in the description after the show ends. Check it out, share it, even if you're not Optic yet. But share it around. See if you guys can drum up some support. If not, no problem. No hard feelings. Friend of the show. And now that I've gotten that out of the way, nothing major to go. But I want to get back to the point of the show, and that is Captain Love, Rise of the Pirate King, Chapter 1, The Dark Figure, is still in demand at the moment. You can also sign up for the mailing list for Rise of the Pirate King Chapter 2. Both links are in the description. But
let's see if we should try and see if we can show people the let's see, do I have the cover to Chapter 2, that's available.
Ooh.
Let's see, do I have that accessible here? Let's see, on this computer.
We got an exclusive here on the Gospel.
That's right.
It's on my Twitter. Let's see here.
Oh, well, if it's on your Twitter, then
it's not.
Don't make it sound less impressive.
Oh, okay. It's super impressive, dudes. It's super impressive.
That's right. This is an exclusive. Nobody else has ever seen this before because nobody follows Drew's Twitter.
And they just say no other. I was gonna say no other broadcast other than my own has revealed it. All right. So, what do you want me to do here? Do I just do a picture? I can say the picture and put it in there, right? Save image.
In the Discord, yeah, I can pull that. Just put it in the show suggestions or the live show chats.
All right. Hold on, All right, now I can do that. I had to save it to my computer first. I'm going to put it. Let's see, which chat should I put it in? Live suggestions, show suggestions. That one.
Show suggestions or live show chat.
Live show chat. I'll do live show chats. There we go. Oh.
That'll work.
Oh.
Here it comes.
The cover for Chapter 2.
All right, let me get that in. Okay.
I can hear you.
Making sure I wasn't. There we go. Captain Love cover for Chapter 2, Secret Station. Looks like you have a pyramid-type object in the background, transport ship in the foreground. You have Spade in her circle, and then you have Captain Love. Now, I've really got to say, you bring back the aesthetic of the '90s, where you had all the pouches and everything, without having all the pouches. It's pretty fantastic.
What $1
Because that overstrap on his shirt, even though it blends in with the fabric of his actual shirt, like it brings back that aesthetic without having like 900 pouches on the characters like Typo.
Right.
Like Pouch Man.
Look, the pouch was a goddamn national treasure.
Yeah. Well, the being that is the future. The strap that he wears is kind of like a utility belt, but he doesn't have to like have everything visible. You know what I mean? It doesn't like shrink into some kind of nothingness and magic kind of thing. I mean, anything big like that, but he can just like attach it to it. It doesn't need to have like a pouch or anything like that. He can just stick a gun onto his chest there and it'll stay. So it's a futuristic holster. So this cover art is by Henry. I don't want to see. I want to read his name so I don't pronounce it wrong. Ponciano, Henry Ponciano, and he is an amazing upcoming artist. and he has some mad skills, and he knocked it out of the park on this cover. So.
Oh yes, I love it. There you have it, folks.
Yeah, and then this cover,
comics.
Yeah, and the cover introduces an important character in the universe that you guys have not met yet. He's there in the background pouring a drink. That is Jim. That is Jim. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, sometimes Love calls him Jims, like plural, because his name is Jim.
I can dig it.
I was muted the entire time, so I'm not going to admit my mistake. But let's just say I thought initially he was in a lab coat pouring a beaker, and
that's what I thought too.
Once you announced that he was pouring a drink, then I saw that he was just kind of a disheveled drunk, and I love it.
Yeah, he owns a bar in that is basically a huge spaceship that's like a converted like spaceship hotel, right? They usually, they there's a lot of those spaceship hotels around the solar system. They just kind of float around moons and around planets and stuff like that. Some of them are like brothels, that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, he landed his on Titan, which is a moon that surrounds Saturn, and he's just basically made it a regular spot, and it's called the House of Kronos. And it's where in chapter 2, Love and Jean have a drinking contest, and then Love immediately gets in a fight afterwards with a guy who's much bigger than he is. So, and Jim is a bit of an instigator, but he doesn't do it much in this book. But he's one of those guys that is always looking for an angle. Always trying to make a buck,
Nice.
And he owns a bar in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? That is sometimes
like every guy's dream.
And sometimes it's dead, and sometimes it's really packed. You know what I mean? And it holds. I mean, it holds a lot. I mean, it's like it's a hotel. You know what I mean? So a lot of people can be in the bar. So. And he could have like big events and small events, and sometimes there'll be nobody there, So it's
nice.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we'll wrap the show.
Sorry, I was going to say one more thing.
He's got one more thing to say.
No, it's quick. It's quick. Looking through all this is making me remember kind of like a high seas, like swashbuckler type, like guitar riff thing that I wrote way back in high school that I'm going to have to go record now after the show.
Don't do it.
He's been inspired.
Better fucking record some more music for the show. He has to record more music for the show. Much like the outro track that I'm going to use right now before Ayrton says anything else. Go ahead, Mystery.
Did he say that he wasn't going to use it for the show? I don't believe I heard him say he wasn't going to use it for the show.
You know what I'm going to use for the show?
I can grab my guitar and start playing it right now if you want.
Hi, my name is Drew Ish, and I'm the author of series.
Got him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody coming out. Like, share, subscribe, all of that nonsense. Definitely check out the links down below in the description.
We have been the Gospel of Comics. You all listening tonight have been fantastic.
Correct.
Thank you, Drew, for coming on again. Thank you for a great book.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
And a great song. Love to the rescue.
God, you were so off right now.
Like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue.
Church, can you count to 4?
1, 2, 18, 4.
There is even a legend that he may be immortal. He is accompanied by Spade, who's a living AI. Yes, I said immortal.
Isn't he cannot die? All right, you guys. Ayrton, get us the fuck out of here, buddy.
Church is like a count and a half off of every single line of this.
I can still out rap you.
In this book, you'll get space pirates, fancy girls and science monks. There'll be bar fights, space battles, and a lot of awesome junk. There's nudity and violence and swearing within, so this book is mature. That means it's not made for children. And if it feels like the universe is caving in, there'll be love to the rescue. Yeah, and it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Thank you so much for your time. Please back Captain Love. The book is going to be awesome. Rise of the Pirate King is just the second in an adventure heading forward for many books. Thank you for your time.
Links down in the description, everybody.